I'm Gabriella. Welcome back to A Tale of Two Readers. We are going to be reading and talking about The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is, for those of you who don't know, the prequel to the Hunger Games series, and it follows President Snow. This is going to be a vlog style video until the end, so we're just going to be reading and kind of giving you updates at certain points. We will have a non-spoilery part of our discussion if we meet in person, so I will put a timestamp to that now. And if you haven't read this yet, you can skip through all the vlog parts to that part, and then we'll tell you again when we're going to start getting spoilery. So yeah, sit back and enjoy the ride and read with us. Man, is Snow the worst. He's just already such a politician. I just finished chapter 6. Oh my god. Somebody's throat just got slit, and the games haven't even started yet.
Oh my god, one of the tributes slashes one of the mentors' throats because she was teasing her with food. She deserved it.
There's one thing that's kind of bothering me, and it's the connection between Coriolanus and Lucy. It just doesn't seem believable to me. I'm on page 205, so 37% of the way through the book, and the games are just about to begin. So it definitely has a bit of a slow start.
So Corio wins and he goes to party with his friends? So she's just waiting? He doesn't check to see where she is? He doesn't try to find her, reunite with her, celebrate with her? Nothing?
Tigris and Coriolanus are sitting out on the roof before he leaves to become a peacekeeper, and it's reminding me so much of Katniss and Peeta when they were sitting out on the roof before the games. And I just love how she's put in like these tiny little lines and little scenes that kind of reflect to the original trilogy. It's interesting to see a little behind the scenes to the life of a peacekeeper, because what we see in the main trilogy is so much of them just being kind of like useless. I was so right to be interested in Sejanus, I don't know how to say it. I love him, and if he dies, it's not going to be good for me.
If Sir Janus keeps this up, he's gonna end up dying. And you're beginning to see more and more of Coriolanus's selfish side. And the Coriolanus that he's going to be, the Snow that he's going to be in the Hunger Games, in the Katniss Hunger Games. So I'm really concerned about Sir Janus. I hope nothing happens.
Sejanus is dead. It was horrible. And Snow is so evil. I'm very sad. You've, at this point, already seen all of our little reading vlog clips and kind of initial reactions, but we're going to be doing our real final thoughts and wrapping it up. So I thought first maybe we could do like a little non-spoilery section. What do you think overall, just about, like...
Overall, it kept my interest, and I enjoyed a lot of it. I thought it could have been edited down a little bit. It was a little longer than it needed to be.
I agree.
I really liked that Suzanne Collins, made him evil from the beginning. He behaved well, but he was, his thoughts were always about himself and his name and his place in the capital, and so he's super selfish, and you know that from the beginning.
I did like seeing how much of an influence Snow and like those initial game makers had on what the games become, and I love seeing like the history of it and how it's progressed. That was probably my favorite thing about the book, honestly.
This is post-war Pan Am, so it's not this perfect, beautiful, sparkling city.
Exactly.
It's still, repairing itself. It's still kind of coming back from this war-torn era, and I thought that was really neat, the way they the way she did that.
Yeah. So what would your rating be? I know you don't do ratings, you do like a word. What would your word be?
I thought it was good. I would probably recommend it.
Okay.
With the caveats.
Yes.
There was a lot about morality and ethics, and
Right.
you could see how she put different, people, and some of them had no ethics at all, like Dr. Gall. Like,
Yes. Okay.
what a great character.
That was crazy. Can we get into spoilers now?
I'm happy to do it. So we're gonna go into spoilers.
Yes.
So if you stop it here if you're not interested in them.
She was insane.
She was awesome.
She was crazy. Some of the characters in this book almost didn't even seem real.
Right, like she's almost cartoonish.
Yes, her and honestly Lucy was also almost cartoonish.
Yeah.
A couple of the characters were just like very exaggerated and like strange. Like they weren't well developed as like real people, but they had like a very clear mark of like a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think like, you know how like in the regular Hunger Games, like the people from Pan Am are really like the pink
gaudy
hair and gaudy. Like I felt like Dr. Gall was, one of those.
Oh, that's interesting.
Way out of the ordinary
kind of like where that came from
person.
Almost.
Yeah.
That's super interesting because I pictured her like characterized like very differently. Like I pictured her wearing like just a lab coat all the time and looking kind of like homely. Mm-hmm. But I think her personality really matches that like over the top capital person vibe.
Oh, I really liked the really cool like weird animals that she was making.
Yes.
Like that made it really kind of real to me because you could feel like you could sense that it was like the beginning stages of their work with genetics and some of it was really sad because some of the animals were actually like moaning or like
and some of them were like originally humans.
Yeah. It was really.
I loved that because in the original trilogy, mutts are like such a huge part of the games and like something that it's just like the moments when the mutts come in, it's like so scary and intense. And I loved seeing like the origins of it and the snakes and just everything she was doing and the creator of it all. Yeah. She was crazy. Truly.
She was really, I really liked this character. They had this thing called the Covey, which I loved. I loved the whole idea of the Covey.
I like that too.
They were like, it was like Pan Am's version of gypsies.
And they like hinted at the fact that there was something outside of
Pan
Am, which was also interesting because that's always a question I have when I read dystopian. It's like, what's going on in the rest of the world, the rest of the country, where is everyone else?
Because there was one, I thought they knew that there was like a world outside of Pan Am, but there was this one part where they were like, there's nothing out of Pan Am. Like, they think that that's the whole world, and I thought...
Very, like, Divergent-esque when they're like, wait, what do you mean there's more? Like,
right.
Yeah.
like, it's just so weird that they didn't know. So, like, I'm wondering if they're in the United States, like, is Canada what they're talking about when they talk north, or...
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but...
that could be.
But yeah, I really liked the idea of the Covey and the way they traveled. They didn't feel like they were district. They didn't feel like they were capital. They just kind of traveled and brought joy and music to people, kind of like gypsies. And I really like the idea of that. So I could see her
like stuck there in District 12, which
they couldn't
sucks.
move anymore.
What about the games themselves?
I don't know. It was kind of cool because they had to kind of rely on their wits.
Yes.
Because they didn't have all those tracker-talkers and all that stuff, And they did give the tributes gifts, like they did in the regular Hunger Games.
Which was the first time it ever happened. It was Snow's idea.
Right. But it was very simple gifts, like cheese, bread, and water. I think
water
that's
bottles,
it.
Yeah,
like you didn't get any weapons from gifts. You didn't get
medicine,
anything.
Anything like that.
You didn't. Yeah, you couldn't do anything.
I think the only parts of the games that I really liked was when what was his name? Lucy's counterpart, the boy from District 12. I liked when he got rabies and like chased her. Jessup, that's his name.
Jessup, yeah.
I really liked when he died and she like stayed with him, and because that was so heartbreaking. And then I also really liked the one guy who went crazy and like was just the whole time, like when they were in the zoo, he's like threatening them all. He's like, I'm gonna kill all of you, sorry, I have to do it. And then when they actually got to the games, all he did was line up their bodies and like cover them and try to give them some sort of like burial almost. which is very interesting. And then she
I
tried to
think
say
that
it
was
was
like a
because he had rabies, but I think it was almost like he just couldn't bring himself to kill them.
Yeah, and I also think that it was like a big fuck you to the Capitol. Like, you know, he tore down the flag to cover the Pan Am flag.
Yep.
He tore it up to cover the dead bodies. I really thought the poison thing was clever.
Me too.
I would have never thought to put the poison in the puddle.
Me too.
That was so clever.
What did you think about Lucy winning? Did you think that should have happened, or do you think it would have been better if it didn't happen? Like, what do you...
Gosh, that's a tough question. I think she needed to win just because Choreo needed a reason to go to District 12. But I find it highly unlikely that she won in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that I didn't think she was incredibly bright.
Me neither.
I mean,
she was just... She's talented.
Very talented.
And I think she has a good
very
heart.
kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't get you far in the games.
Lucy had singing. That
Which,
was it. And that kind of gives you like foreshadowing into the Hunger Games where they
Right.
try to make you really popular and famous and liked so you get more gifts from your sponsors. So I think like her singing and her talents were might have been like what had given Snow like the idea to make them really kind of interesting and special and see who likes who and you know
the scene when all the snakes were around Lucy and she thought that they were like coming to her because she was singing, so she kept singing, but really they just knew her scent. That was great. She was like, I can't stop singing.
You have to keep singing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. And I love the way she saves one of them.
Oh yes, and then uses
it.
Yeah,
she uses it in the Hunger Games. They
which was also really smart because we had the foreshadowing in the beginning when she put the snake down the mayor's daughter's dress.
Yes, I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking of when he puts his hand in the thing.
Yes.
You know, but you're right. I thought like the whole time that Coriolanus was going to be the one who killed Serjanus. Like every time he would think stuff like you know, you would just be like, oh, he's gonna kill him. Oh my god, he's gonna do this. Oh my god.
When he was like, I'm so tired of him. Like this, I was like, well, okay, we know where this is going.
I'm so tired of him.
He literally would say that.
So
he was like,
him.
I can't keep like covering for him and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, he's going down. But he was my favorite character. That was the only moment where I actually like felt real emotion.
When he was hung?
Yes.
Yeah, when he was hung, I was really surprised that it happened because it happened really fast.
Yeah, it did.
It really left me feeling like I wanted to learn more about.
Yes, I want to see the first Hunger Games.
Yeah, like how'd
that happen?
It's just like rocks and sticks. You
Honestly,
know,
if I was in the first Hunger Games, I think I would have just refused to kill anybody. None of them probably would have killed each other because they all would have been like, what even is this?
Yeah, right.
But they all probably would have starved then.
Yes, they probably just because that's the other big difference too. Like in the Hunger Games, they like treat them like they go on that like first class train and they take you in and they
stay in like a nice hotel.
Yeah, you're
and they have training for however long.
Yeah, and they have like you're treated almost like royalty.
I wonder if like that's something else that I think about a lot is after like the games are like abolished and you know the revolution is over, what happens then?
Yeah.
Like how do you come back from everything?
Right.
Like I don't know, and
Yeah,
how much of a part does Katniss play in that?
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
I always
she
found that very
really.
interesting.
She was never really political. Like
no, she was just the face.
Yeah.
So I would love to see. I was hoping when I found out there was going to be a new Suzanne Collins book that it was a book that it was going to be a sequel.
It was good. It was definitely, yeah, it surprised me too.
My
It's better than
expectations
I
were
thought.
low.
Yeah, mine too.
And it didn't. I mean, it's not. It wasn't great, but I think because I had low expectations, it was fine.
Yeah,
it was
right.
good.
Exactly. So go into it with no expectations.
Yes. Expect it to be awful, and you'll probably be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, that is our discussion of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Thank you so much for joining us. Click if you like. Click below if you liked it. Yeah, the thumbs.
Subscribe. Maybe comment what you think about the book if you've read it.
Yeah, let us know if you've read it.
And we will see you soon for a new video. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, hello. What do you think? What do you think?